But we will play and review today not a regular guitar, but a guitar from the future called Sensy. Check this out. How compact it is, how futuristic it is. We'll try to play this guitar today. We'll find out if this instrument is capable of replacing a real guitar, and if it's true that this thingy will make the future. I honestly haven't tested it yet, don't know if it is possible to actually play this stuff. But as we know, Vaganich had reviewed the pilot model. And this is the second prototype as far as I know. So it would be interesting. Well, what about first impression? We've just plugged it in, tried to play a little bit, and I swear my brain is a little bit confused. Yeah, it is convenient in general, because there are a lot of tricks and built-in features to comb through. And, you know, it's like, if you place this stuff horizontally, it is like a full-fledged MIDI keyboard that will replace a whole orchestra. But you have to get used to it. All in all, you know, it works pretty good. I think I'm getting the hang of it. I've played for a little while. But naturally, when I first took this guitar, it was literally a nightmare. My brain was twisted around. But now, getting used to it, I begin to somehow feel the fretboard, the strings, because the fretboard is of a classic thickness. It is not the same as that of acoustic guitar, but there is some kind of an issue. If you slightly touch, you can see here it's indicated by lights, if you touch the adjacent string, it will recognize as holding this fret. This is kind of small issue, and I think guys will fix it in the next update, in the third prototype. This is the time when I should get 1 million likes, right? What about the materials of this stuff? For now, it is a regular plastic out of the 3D printer. Of course, guys aren't into design and soft at this moment, because this is a prototype. But to be honest, I'm quite impressed by this instrument, and I would buy it, play it, get more time to rehearse. I realized that you cannot sing along with this guitar, because strumming with this guitar is impossible for now. The touchpads of the guitar is not configured in the way… Whoa, stop! They are not configured to strumming type of playing. It is literally impossible to play this way. You can only play with such a technique like arpeggio. But you can practice some kinds of rhythmic patterns. So train your fingers, because no one is impressed by strumming in the 21st century. Wow, is it a mandolin? In fact, you can plug this device to the computer, hook it up to the smartphone via Bluetooth and GarageBand, and simply change the tone. For example, I changed the ordinary guitar sound to the bass guitar sound. We've just switched to the drums. Here, every string plays its own sound. Needless to say, I'm a very bad drums player. Button D turns the tapping mode on. And this stuff opens up a great deal of possibilities for a musician. Let's turn it off. Now we'll return to a guitar sound, and while playing the tapping style, if you aren't familiar with the keys, but you are a guitarish person, then you can easily create your own beats. So, open the GarageBand, go to the settings, sync the device via Bluetooth. This is how it works. Select the ordinary preset. You can also use the distortion effect, if you have an iPhone. So, come on, take it closer, so you can hear it clearly. Very nice and clear sound if you don't want to deal with the neighbors. If you don't want to torture your neighbors. So, the great instrument for some rehearsal. We've plugged the stuff to the laptop, picked up a brass tone. And now you can enjoy the nearly orchestral sound on a guitar. Where else can you find this, by the way? What can I say about this? Can you imagine, in the 21st century, you have the ability to support the company, innovators, because they create really badass stuff. I should buy it too, but it is only our support that can really speed up the device's release. What does $1 mean to you? You should donate some to them. It's a piece of cake. Moreover, those who donate enough money to cover the prime cost of the device will get the first batch product at a very reasonable price, because the production of the first batch also needs some financing. But I think it is totally worth it. Just imagine, in some 5 years, these guitars will be in all the shops, and you will be the first to hold this device, and later you'll tell your grandkids like, I had such a guitar back in 2021. Another great significant feature is the training mode. Sorry to say, this particular device doesn't have that, because it should be installed by a special soft. But Vaganich had that stuff in full working order. You can load some MIDI files with the target melodies, and then, by following the lights, play the notes correctly and in time. For example, the finger placement for the chords lights up, and you can learn chords that way, so that you can save your time and fingers. They'll be grateful to you. And just imagine, do you remember Guitar Hero game? Is it still popular today? Just 4 keys to mess around on a small guitar. Imagine a Guitar Hero on this awesome guitar. It's pretty rad. You don't have enough fingers to make that work pretty good, so you'll practice a lot to play that crazy guitar solos. What about various methods of creating guitarish sounds, like slides, glissandos, pull-offs and hammer-ons, pitch bends? There are almost none of them here. They say that in the future, they will provide some of them in the next firmware updates. But it will take a while. Those who are the most attentive viewers can notice these 4 micropads on the case of the device. Of course, they are programmable. You can assign various sounds or even drums on them. You can also notice buttons here on the case. They are also programmable. You can assign some effects or sounds on them. And so that this device turns into the easy-to-use, customizable workhorse. I almost forgot to tell that you can also assign the drum loops on these pads, so you can hit the button. Woo, what a nice effect, check this out. And your performance becomes more complete. Come here, I found a secret sound. I'll show you. Push the A button, and all the girls in the neighborhood will be shocked. Guaranteed. There are some mind-blowing tricks with the illumination. This is just a kind of magic. Check this out. Man, it's just a digital overload. Dear friends, what can I say as a conclusion? If I had an opportunity to mess around with this guitar for a week, okay, at least for a couple of days, and not 1.5 hours, as in our case today, I think we could make a much better video. The technology just really kicks some ass. If the developers work on all the musical nuances of the device, carry out a survey among the musicians, the instrument will be really awesome. What surprised me the most was the strings. You can feel them despite the absence of the real strings. Of course, you cannot play it with a pick, but fingerstyle guitarists will be excited. You can feel like you're playing non-metal, nylon strings, and the contact with the strings is bright and greasy. What to say about the left hand? Your fingers will be grateful to you, because there won't be blisters on them. There are no strings, so you don't have to push hard on them. So those who are afraid of some discomfort using the nylon or metal strings, no discomfort here at all. And the main advantage is mobility and portability. Any preset, any sound, you can go anywhere, even outside with JBL speaker. You should test it. It's very convenient because it is foldable and can fit into the backpack. When it comes to ordinary guitar, you can only put ukulele in your backpack, only if customs allow.